My name's Starsky and welcome to From the Studio on Clubbing TV. And today I'm going to be taking a look at what was my top pick of 2019. And I didn't pick this because of its amazing functionality or its connectivity with modular gear or because its sound was so smooth and lush. I picked it because it's completely barking mad and really, really unique in the synth world. And that is the Stylophone GEN R-8. And that's why we love it. It doesn't sound like something you could get on a VST. It's got all those sort of weird crackles and dirt that just make it sound alive. Really unique, and every single section of this has unique functions and a unique sound, and I'll go through each of them one by one in a second. But first thing you noticed on this is this weird keyboard. What's that all about? Why on earth would you put this sort of metal keyboard on a brand new synth? And that's because there's a lot of provenance. It hasn't just popped out of nowhere. The original Stylophone was originally designed by an inventor back in the 1960s. He could have designed computers, but no. He could have designed mobile phones, but no. He thought Stylophone, that's what the world needs. It needs a little analog synth that you play with a stylus. But he did have the last laugh because he went to sell over 4 million of them in the end. And here is the original in all its splendid tiny glory. Looks like something out of the 70s is something out of the 60s. And this was a proper kid's toy back in the day. And in the nice little booklet you get with it, that's got some of the history with it. It does say that it's used by Kraftwerk in Pocket Calculator and by David Bowie in Space Oddity. I think this is the line David Bowie used. I think he put vibrato on though. I think that's all he played in it. And Pocket Calculator by Kraftwerk. Something like that anyway. And it is actually an analog synthesizer. But Dubrack bought this company, I don't know how long ago, and they've made a few other models. They've got a rhythm model and one that's sort of building towards being the GEN R-8. I'll just show you those as well. So this is the rhythm module, I suppose. It's got a few sounds on it. Again, it's just a bit of fun, really. It's got an upgrade though, because it's actually got a volume knob.
Stylophone.
Bizarre. So the Stylophone beatbox, a bit of crazy fun. Following that, they made the Stylophone GEN X1. And this actually, you can really see the roots of the GEN R-8 in this because this is becoming a proper synth. You can't connect it up, it's got no MIDI, so you can't connect it to your door or play it with other stuff really, but you can play it live. Again, it's got the stylus. Hence you can see where the keyboard for this one comes from. From something really simple to something a bit of fun to something that's actually turning into a proper synth. Which brings us back to this little beastie. And it's just, I do love it so much. It weighs a ton. These are made of plastic, all the old things, sort of really light. And this thing feels like it's been sort of hewn from a Cold War tank. It's like a huge lump of metal.
Hey Yuri, look what I found in the secret nuclear bunker.
And just a quick overview of it, we've got two oscillators. We've got an LFO that's got various destinations here. Got ring, mod and sync. On the filter you've got high pass and low pass. You've got a single envelope. You've got this really nice delay unit. You've got a simple mixer that's only got the mix of the oscillators together and the delay level. And then you do have a little sequencer at the end as well. Let's start by looking at the oscillators then, shall we? And you'll see straight away they don't look like a sort of standard synth. You have a choice of sawtooth with a sub, sawtooth and the sub, and a sawtooth and a sub 2 octaves below. And on the square you have standard tuning, standard and a sub, and standard with 2 subs below, and you've got that on both the oscillators, and you've got an oscillator detune on number 2, so if we put it on, sounds nice straight away, doesn't it? So we've got ring mod as well, which is where you take the sum and the difference between the frequencies of the 2 oscillators and you get all crazy harmonics. That's the idea anyway. And that's what's happening. Really good again. And let's look at oscillator sync as well. Let's see what else we can do with that. That's a big tone coming from 2 little oscillators, isn't it? Maybe time then to move over to the filter, because I'm dying to have a little play with it. Let's put it back onto the simple sawtooth. And this filter's multi-mode. So you've got a low pass mode, a high pass mode, and a band pass mode. So low pass mode, the low frequencies pass through and the high frequencies disappear. Let's make the tone a bit nicer, shall we? Just, there we go. High pass mode. So the high frequencies pass through and the low frequencies disappear. And if we put them both on together, we get a band pass. And a band pass means you get rid of all the low frequencies and all the high frequencies, and you're just left with a bit in the middle. So you get nice thin tones from that. So we have low pass, high pass, band pass, and with the both off, we get a notch. Sounds a little bit phasey, and it just takes out the center frequencies, almost like the opposite of a band pass. So it's really flexible all of a sudden. You've got these 2 sort of weird oscillators, but because it's got these subs in it, and you've got the ring mod, and you've got the oscillator sync, and you've got a high pass, a low pass, and a band pass, all of a sudden it's opening up loads of opportunities. So let's take a quick look at the LFO as well, shall we? The LFO's got 4 destinations, as I said earlier. We've got oscillator 1, oscillator 2, or both of them. So it's not quite audio rate, but you get all sorts of nice crispiness out of that, aren't you? You've got a sine, you've got a triangle, you've got a ramp up. That's a ramp down and a ramp up. Got square, pulse. Then you've got this lovely one, it's sort of a stepped ramp. I've not heard that on anything before. It's an instant 1980s video game, isn't it? And then you've got sample and hold as well for those sort of random effects. It's also got a one-shot mode, which is great because it means you can use it as an extra envelope. So let's put one-shot mode on the filter. You're now using the LFO as a separate envelope for the filter. So again, it's more flexible than it at first appears, isn't it? So moving to the next section, we've got this delay, and this is, it says in the manual, explains in the manual what it is and how it's made, but basically it sounds great. So we have to turn the delay up in the mixer section to hear it. So you heard there it can regenerate infinitely, so you can get really nice dubby stuff. Sounds like horses, bizarre. And up next in the signal chain, we've got the drive circuit. You can hear that's a bit noisy, it's still playing in there. A really like the drive circuit combined with the sequencer in this because it gets some really nice sort of dirty acid tones. Let's try a bit of patching then, shall we? Let's patch the LFO out to the envelope in so we get a constant gate. All really nice, isn't it? I keep on saying that about this, but that's why it was my my top bit of kit for 2019. Because now I've got it out, I just want to sit here and play with it all day. But is it the synth for you? If you're looking for something unique and you want a synth that'll take you places your other synths or your other soft synths don't take you, I'd definitely recommend having a go at this. It has a habit of bringing a track to life. Just all those little bits of dirt and grit and those odd little sounds and those artifacts in there really do add a bit of life to it. You know, it's why guitarists plug the guitars into guitar amps so that you get a bit of something different, that not just plugging it direct into the desk. If you want to play it live, I definitely recommend getting yourself a MIDI keyboard to play it with. I'm doing okay on this demo, but you know, I've had to re-record a couple of bits because it is difficult to play. It's great for noodling about with, but not in front of other people. The sequence is really basic, so if you like doing stuff with sequencers and arpeggios, you probably have to sync it up to something that's got a bit more of a complex sequencer that you can store more patterns in. And if you are used to playing stuff just with your DAW and you are looking for a single piece of kit, it's a bit esoteric, it's a bit of a gamble because you either like it or you don't, I imagine, but it's worth having a look at. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, you can catch it again on Clubbing TV's YouTube channel on their From the Studio playlist, where if you leave stuff in the comments, I'll see what I can do to answer them for you. And if you are into your synths, don't forget to check out Starsky Carr on YouTube as well, where I've got a lot more in-depth tutorials, walkthroughs and demos of synths and studio kit. So I'll see you in the next episode of From the Studio.